Welcome to our deep dive into the world of autonomous mobility. It's a topic that's both exciting and transformative. I mean, who hasn't dreamed of a car that drives itself? You've shared some fascinating source material with us, including an essay by Jörg-Owe. But before we get to a world of robotaxis and drone deliveries, let's start with something that might surprise you. Did you know that the concept of autonomous vehicles goes back centuries?
It's true. Schneepat reminds us that the seeds were planted long ago. He even mentions Leonardo da Vinci's 15th century sketches of a self-propelled cart. While just a concept, it speaks to humanity's long-standing fascination with autonomous machines.
It's amazing. I mean, Da Vinci, the guy who painted the Mona Lisa, was also thinking about self-driving vehicles. What's even more fascinating is how those early ideas have evolved over time.
Exactly. Schneepat traces that evolution beautifully. Think about the invention of the torpedo in the 1800s, a self-propelling weapon, or the development of autopilot systems for aircraft in the early 1900s. These were surprisingly early examples of autonomous technology, laying the groundwork for what we see today.
So from these early innovations, how did we get to the sophisticated autonomous systems we see today? Was there a single aha moment, or was it a gradual evolution?
It was a series of steps, each building on the previous one. Schneepat talks about researchers at Carnegie Mellon and a German university developing early self-driving car prototypes in the late 20th century. These prototypes were limited, but they proved that the concept was viable. Then in 2009, Google launched its self-driving car project, now known as Waymo. This was a major turning point, propelling autonomous vehicles into the mainstream consciousness.
It's incredible how technology can go from a niche research project to something that has the potential to revolutionize transportation. But hold on, we're talking about more than just cars, right? Schneepat talks about autonomous mobility, which seems much broader.
You're absolutely right. Schneepat makes it clear that autonomous mobility encompasses a wide range of vehicles and applications. Of course, self-driving cars are a major focus, but we're also seeing autonomous trucks for long-haul trucking, delivery robots for that last mile, even drones for aerial applications like package delivery and surveillance.
It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, a world where transportation is seamless, efficient, and maybe even a bit futuristic. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How does all of this actually work? What kind of technology is powering these autonomous systems?
The real heroes here are artificial intelligence, AI, and sensor technologies. Think of AI as the brain, constantly learning and adapting to make real-time decisions. Schneepat gives a great example. Imagine an autonomous vehicle navigating a busy intersection. It needs to perceive its surroundings, predict the movements of other vehicles and pedestrians, and make split-second decisions to avoid collisions.
So it's like the AI is learning to see and think like a human driver, but on an even more sophisticated level.
That's exactly it. And this seeing is made possible by sensor technologies. We've all heard of LiDAR, radar, and cameras. These are the eyes and ears of autonomous vehicles, providing a constant stream of data about the surrounding environment.
It's incredible to think about how much information these vehicles are processing. They're essentially creating a detailed 360-degree map of their surroundings in real time.
Yes, and Schneepat points out that these sensors don't operate in isolation. Instead, they use something called sensor fusion, combining data from multiple sources to create a highly accurate picture of the world.
So it's like having multiple pairs of eyes, each providing a different perspective, and the AI is able to synthesize all that information to make informed decisions.
Oh.
But even with all this advanced technology, aren't there different levels of autonomy?
That's a great point. The Society of Automotive Engineers, SAE, has defined 6 levels of automation, ranging from level 0, no automation, to level 5, full automation. These levels are crucial because they help us understand the capabilities and limitations of different autonomous systems.
Okay, let's break down these levels a bit, especially the ones that are relevant to the vehicles we're seeing on the roads today. What are the key differences between, say, level 2 and level 4 autonomy?
Imagine you're driving a car with adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist. That's typically considered level 2 autonomy. The car can help you maintain a safe distance from other vehicles and stay in your lane. But you're still responsible for monitoring the environment and taking control if needed. Now jump to level 4. Schneepat uses robotaxis as a prime example. These vehicles are designed to operate fully autonomously, but only within specific conditions or geographic areas. It's like having a self-driving car with a safety net.
So level 4 is like a stepping stone to full autonomy, where the vehicle can handle most driving tasks, but still has limitations based on the environment or situation. But level 5, that's the holy grail, right? A car that can drive itself anywhere, anytime, without any human intervention.
That's the dream. But it's a complex one to achieve. We're talking about a vehicle that can handle any weather condition, navigate complex urban environments, and make split-second decisions in unpredictable situations. As Schnepphat explains, we're not quite there yet. It requires not only technological advancements, but also robust safety protocols, ethical frameworks, and societal acceptance.
It's clear that achieving level 5 autonomy is a huge undertaking, with technical, ethical, and social implications that we need to carefully consider. But before we dive into those complexities, let's take a closer look at the exciting possibilities that autonomous mobility offers. It's not just about making cars drive themselves. It's about reimagining the entire transportation landscape. And we're talking about the different levels of autonomy and the incredible technology that's making it all possible. But there's another side to this story that Schnepphat really emphasizes: the ethical considerations. I mean, if we're giving machines the power to make decisions in life or death situations, we need to think carefully about the values we're embedding in those systems.
Absolutely. Schnepphat tackles this head on. He points out that we're essentially trying to program moral reasoning into machines. It's a philosophical minefield. Imagine a scenario where an autonomous vehicle has to choose between swerving to avoid a pedestrian and potentially risking the safety of the passengers. These are the kinds of dilemmas that keep ethicists up at night.
It's fascinating and a little bit unsettling. I mean, for centuries, we've wrestled with these moral questions. Now we're asking machines to make those judgments. Does Schnepphat offer any solutions to this conundrum, any frameworks for navigating these ethical complexities?
He does. Schnepphat introduces the concept of value-sensitive design, which emphasizes the importance of considering ethical implications throughout the design process. It's about bringing diverse perspectives to the table: engineers, ethicists, policymakers, and the public, to ensure that these systems are aligned with our values.
It's like building a moral compass for these machines, right? Ensuring that their actions reflect not only efficiency and safety, but also a broader set of ethical principles. But how does that actually play out in the real world? How do you translate abstract values into concrete design decisions?
That's the challenge, and it's something Schnepphat acknowledges. He uses the example of data privacy. Autonomous vehicles collect vast amounts of data about our movements, our driving habits, even the places we go. How do we ensure that this data is used responsibly? How do we protect people's privacy while still allowing these systems to learn and improve?
It's a delicate balancing act. We want these technologies to enhance our lives, but not at the expense of our fundamental rights and freedoms. It sounds like a lot of responsibility rests on the shoulders of those who are designing and developing these systems. But what about the role of regulations? How do we create a legal framework for a world where cars are driving themselves?
That's another critical piece of the puzzle, and Schnepphat delves into it. Right now, there's a lot of variation in regulations across different jurisdictions. Some countries are embracing autonomous vehicles with open arms, while others are taking a more cautious approach.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare for companies trying to develop and deploy these technologies. Imagine trying to navigate a patchwork of different rules and regulations in every city or country you operate in.
Exactly. And Schnepphat highlights this challenge. He argues that we need more harmonized regulations, a framework that provides clarity and consistency across borders. This would not only streamline development and deployment, but also ensure a more consistent level of safety and accountability.
I'm following you. But shouldn't safety be the top priority, even if it means slowing down the rollout of these technologies? We need to make sure that these vehicles are thoroughly tested and proven to be reliable before they're sharing the road with us.
You're absolutely right, and Schnepphat emphasizes that point. He talks about the importance of rigorous testing, both in simulated environments and on real roads. He also highlights the advancements in simulation technology, which allows developers to expose autonomous systems to millions of miles of virtual driving, testing their responses in a wide range of scenarios.
It's like giving these vehicles a crash course in every possible driving situation without putting anyone at risk. It makes me think about how we train pilots using flight simulators, except in this case, it's the AI that's learning and adapting.
Precisely. And this kind of simulation is crucial for identifying potential problems and refining algorithms before these vehicles hit the road. But even with all this testing, there's always the element of the unexpected. How do we prepare for situations that even the most sophisticated AI hasn't encountered before?
It's a valid concern. The real world is full of unpredictable events, things that can't be programmed into a simulation.
And that's why Schnepphat stresses the importance of ongoing monitoring, data collection, and continuous improvement. These systems need to be able to learn from their experiences in the real world and adapt accordingly. It's an iterative process, and it requires a commitment to transparency, accountability, and ongoing research.
It's like a constant feedback loop where these systems are learning and evolving as they interact with the real world. But even with all the safety measures in place, there's still the question of public perception. How do people feel about sharing the road with these machines? Are they willing to trust their lives to autonomous vehicles?
Schneppet doesn't shy away from that question. He acknowledges that public trust is crucial for the success of autonomous mobility. And right now, there's a mix of excitement, curiosity, and apprehension. Some people are eager to embrace the convenience and potential safety benefits, while others are understandably wary of relinquishing control to machines.
It's a big leap of faith for many people. After all, we've been taught to be vigilant drivers, to be aware of our surroundings and make split-second decisions. The idea of handing that responsibility over to a machine can feel daunting. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we build public trust in autonomous vehicles?
Schneppet suggests that transparency is key. People need to understand how these systems work, how decisions are made, and what safety protocols are in place. It's not just about selling the technology, it's about educating the public and addressing their concerns. It's about demonstrating that these vehicles are not only efficient, but also safe and reliable.
It's about building a relationship of trust, not just a transactional one. And it seems like education and open communication are essential for that to happen. But let's shift gears for a moment. We've been talking a lot about the theoretical and ethical aspects of autonomous mobility. But what does it look like in practice? Are there real-world examples of this technology making a difference in people's lives?
Schneppet offers some compelling examples. One area where autonomous vehicles are already making a significant impact is in industrial settings. He specifically mentions mining operations in South America, where companies are using autonomous trucks and haulers to transport materials in challenging and often dangerous environments.
That makes sense. Using autonomous vehicles in these high-risk environments could not only increase efficiency, but also protect human workers from potential hazards. Are there any other examples of autonomous vehicles being used in ways that are benefiting society right now?
Absolutely. Schneppet points out the growing use of autonomous shuttles for public transportation, particularly in controlled environments like university campuses or retirement communities. These shuttles offer a convenient and accessible way to get around, especially for people who may not be able to drive themselves.
I can see how those shuttles would be a game changer for people with limited mobility. And what about those delivery robots we discussed earlier? Are we any closer to a future where our packages are dropped off by little robots zipping around our neighborhoods?
We're getting there. Schneppet mentions that several companies are actively testing and deploying last-mile delivery robots, particularly in urban areas. These robots can navigate sidewalks and pedestrian zones, bringing packages right to your doorstep, potentially reducing traffic congestion and making deliveries more efficient.
It's amazing to think about how these different applications of autonomous technology are already shaping our world. But it all comes back to the technology itself. What are the key advancements that are making this possible? Schneppet obviously talks about AI and sensors. Is there anything else he focuses on?
Schneppet dives into the specific technologies that are driving this revolution. He highlights advancements in sensor technology, particularly LiDAR, radar, and cameras, which provide these vehicles with an incredibly detailed understanding of their surroundings.
And it's not just about having these sensors. It's about how the AI interprets and acts on the information they provide. Right?
Exactly. Schneppet emphasizes the critical role of AI in processing this vast amount of data, making sense of the environment, and making real-time decisions. He also discusses the importance of machine learning, which allows these systems to constantly learn and improve from their experiences.
So it's a dynamic process. With the AI constantly refining its abilities based on the data it's gathering, it's almost like these vehicles are developing their own unique driving styles as they interact with the world. But with all this reliance on software and connectivity, doesn't that raise concerns about cybersecurity?
That's a crucial point, and Schneppet addresses it directly. As autonomous vehicles become more sophisticated and interconnected, they also become more vulnerable to cyber attacks. Ensuring the security of these systems is paramount, not only to protect data, but also to prevent potentially catastrophic consequences.
It's a reminder that technological progress always comes with new challenges, and cybersecurity is certainly at the forefront of those challenges. But even with these concerns, it's hard not to be excited about the possibilities. What stands out to you as the most promising aspect of autonomous mobility?
For me, it's the potential for increased safety. Schneppet cites statistics showing that a vast majority of accidents are caused by human error. By removing the element of human fallibility, autonomous vehicles could drastically reduce the number of accidents and save countless lives.
That's a powerful argument. And beyond safety, there's the potential for increased efficiency, reduced congestion, and improved accessibility for people with disabilities. It's like we're on the cusp of a transportation revolution.
And Schneppet would agree. He encourages readers to stay informed, engage in the conversation, and even start envisioning what their own personalized autonomous vehicle might look like.
It's a call to action for all of us. The future of transportation is being shaped right now, and we all have a role to play. So to our listeners, I encourage you to delve deeper into the world of autonomous mobility, explore the resources you've gathered, including Schneppet's essay, and stay curious about this rapidly evolving field. The journey toward an autonomous future is just beginning, and it promises to be an exciting one.